Welcome to Conspiracies Condensed, where history's most controversial secrets are uncovered, analyzed, and exposed. From government cover-ups to declassified experiments, we dive deep into the conspiracies that turned out to be true. If you're ready to challenge the official story, subscribe now and join us on this journey into the shadows of history. They said the Manhattan Project ended when the bombs fell, but deep beneath the desert sands and locked vaults, something continued. Experiments, lies, secrets too dangerous to reveal. What if the real project was never about ending a war, but controlling the future itself? The Manhattan Project cover-up, the official story. In the history books, the Manhattan Project was portrayed as a wartime miracle, a colossal effort involving 130,000 workers and billions of dollars. It spanned secret facilities in Los Alamos, Oak Ridge, and Hanford. Its climax came in August 1945, when 2 bombs were dropped over Japan, ending the Second World War and ushering in the nuclear age. Scientists were celebrated, generals congratulated, and the public assured that the mission was complete. But governments rarely tell the whole truth. Behind the victorious headlines and political speeches, darker chapters were sealed away. Experiments continued. Records were locked and witnesses silenced. The end of the war was only the beginning of a new era, one where secrecy became more valuable than victory. The hidden agenda. The Manhattan Project wasn't just about winning the war, it was about control. Even as Japan lay in ruins, the US government saw nuclear power as the ultimate bargaining chip for global dominance. A Cold War was already forming, and Washington wasn't about to give up its advantage. Vast sums were funneled into maintaining and expanding nuclear research under new names, hidden within military budgets. Laboratories once thought to be dismantled kept humming, producing not just weapons but intelligence. The public was told the project had ended, but in reality, the infrastructure remained. Nuclear secrecy became a permanent policy, and the project lived on in shadows, rebranded and concealed, shaping the post-war order in ways the world was never meant to see. Radiation experiments. As secrecy deepened, a disturbing chapter unfolded. Declassified documents later revealed that unwitting civilians and soldiers were subjected to radiation exposure without consent. From injecting patients with plutonium to feeding radioactive materials to children in hospital trials, the scale of human experimentation was staggering. Troops were ordered to march near blast sites, told it was safe, only to suffer illness and cancers years later. Victims rarely knew why they were sick, and families were left in the dark. These tests weren't accidents. They were sanctioned under the guise of national security. The government valued data more than human life, and the line between scientific progress and cruelty blurred. The Manhattan Project's legacy wasn't just Hiroshima. It was the quiet suffering of thousands. Links to Operation Paperclip. When the war ended, America didn't just keep its scientists, it recruited enemy ones. Through Operation Paperclip, Nazi engineers and researchers were quietly brought into the US to continue their work. Many had experience in rocketry, chemistry, and, disturbingly, human experimentation. Their knowledge was folded into ongoing nuclear and military research, merging the Manhattan legacy with darker, foreign expertise. Publicly, these scientists were framed as brilliant minds fueling America's technological boom. Privately, officials overlooked their past atrocities in exchange for an edge against the Soviets. The Manhattan Project had not ended, it had evolved. The fusion of American secrecy and imported science created programs so classified that even presidents were sometimes left outside the loop. Suppressed accidents. The public was told nuclear progress was safe, but accidents were quietly buried. Criticality mishaps killed researchers at Los Alamos, their gruesome deaths described only in sterile reports. Entire towns downwind of Nevada test sites, known as downwinders, were exposed to fallout for decades, leading to cancers and birth defects. Yet officials assured residents the danger was minimal. When contamination spread into rivers and soil near Hanford and Oak Ridge, whistleblowers were silenced. Secrecy was the shield, national security the excuse. The cover-ups were not about protecting citizens, but protecting reputations. What began as wartime urgency had transformed into a culture where truth was expendable, and accountability was buried under a mountain of classified files. The Nevada tests. By the 1950s, the desert of Nevada became America's new proving ground. More than 1,000 nuclear detonations lit up the sky, some so powerful they shattered windows miles away. Civilians were invited to watch from safe distances, as if the spectacle was harmless entertainment. But the reality was grim. Fallout spread across states, drifting into farms, homes, and water supplies. Soldiers were stationed within sight of blasts to study their reactions, treated as expendable data points. These experiments weren't just about weapons. They were about control, intimidation, and pushing the boundaries of human tolerance. The government downplayed the risks, but the desert told a different story. Craters, radiation, and silence where life once thrived. Eyewitness whistleblowers. Not everyone stayed silent. Over the decades, insiders came forward. Scientists, soldiers, and workers who saw too much. They spoke of unsafe experiments, reckless testing, and deliberate deception. Some described laboratories where safety was ignored. Others recalled being ordered to destroy evidence. But whistleblowers were often ridiculed, discredited, or forced into silence through legal threats. A few accounts slipped through, fueling suspicion that the Manhattan Project never truly ended. Declassified testimonies revealed chilling details: shipments of radioactive material with no records, experiments hidden in hospitals, and officials knowingly exposing populations. Each story suggested the same conclusion: the cover-up was not a rumor, but a reality embedded in policy. Legacy of secrecy. The Manhattan Project's shadow didn't stop at bombs or experiments. It created a culture. Generations of scientists and officials learned to guard information at all costs. Entire agencies grew from this secrecy, with budgets buried so deeply they escaped oversight. From the CIA's covert programs to secretive military projects, the model of classified control was born in Los Alamos. The pattern repeated: deny, deflect, and bury the evidence. The culture of silence became as dangerous as the weapons themselves. Even when truth surfaced decades later, documents were redacted and apologies vague. The nuclear secret was never just about technology. It was about maintaining power, shaping policy, and ensuring the public never saw the full picture. Fact versus speculation. Today, historians and journalists wrestle with the question: how much do we really know? Some argue that most records have been destroyed, leaving only fragments. Others claim more lies remain buried, protected by national security exemptions. We may never uncover every truth about the Manhattan Project's hidden chapters. What is certain is that its legacy extends far beyond Hiroshima. From human experiments to environmental disasters, its cover-ups have scarred countless lives. Whether fact, speculation, or something in between, one thing is undeniable. Secrecy was not a temporary wartime measure. It became a permanent feature of government power. And the Manhattan Project, far from ending in 1945, may still be shaping our world in ways we are not meant to know. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the hidden depths of history. If you enjoyed uncovering this secret, there's so much more waiting to be explored. Make sure to subscribe to Conspiracies Condensed so you never miss another shocking revelation. And if you found this video thought-provoking, hit that like button. It really helps us keep bringing you the truth.